I know you had a crazy Hayden experience, and the second I saw you post that reel, I was like, "Yo, that cannot be real." Like right away, I was like, "Yo, I gotta bring him on because I just want to just hear this story
Yeah.
again from his mouth."
Yeah. And
But
you told me you got a crazy experience too, so I got to hear that.
bro, yeah, it's bro. Mine is almost as good. I'm getting close to the level, but tell me about I know you did the photo op. Tell me about your experience when you walked up for the photo op, getting that crazy photo op, and your experience with your new best friend Hayden afterwards.
Yeah. So I you know, mind you, when I did the photo op in Chicago, I think it was Chicago with with Ian McDermott and Hayden, it was literally like, bro, it was like next, shake his
Yep.
hand, next, and I was like, okay. This one, I was expecting the same thing, right? And you're in line, you're seeing them, you're seeing the actors interacting with everyone, and then they go next, next. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, and I walk up, and the lady goes or whatever. I think it was some girl in front of me, and then she
Hmm.
leaves because they said next, and then and he's like saying goodbye to her, and he turns to me, and I was like, I put out my hand. He's like, Star Wars theory, and I'm like,
Yo.
no, dude, don't even do this right now. And I had heard like through Nick that he knows who I am and this and that, but I wasn't really expecting him to. Anyways, bro like lights up, and then
Mhm.
the whole thing is at a standstill. There's no more next or nothing like that, because then he brings in you, and he's like, this is the guy I was talking about. This is blah blah blah, and then I'm just like in the middle there, and
What?
I'm like looking at Ewan's face for the first time in person, IRL, no screen, and then there's Hayden, and
Yeah.
he's talking about me, and he's like excited, and then you see Hayden's buddy over there in the corner, and he's like grinning from ear to ear. I'm like, bro, what? Huh? What's
Yeah.
happening right now? So then, anyways, I'm like, thank you, man. Like, I appreciate you. And then, put my arms around them, and then take the photo. He says something, and I just remember being like, I love you, man. And he's like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, that's so stupid. Why did I say that? And then, anyways, I'm like, all right, well, I'll see you, man. He's like, hey, thanks. I really appreciate it. And I'm like, cool. I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. And then he's like, give your phone number to him over there. And I'm like, what? I'm like, and I think I blurted out, I'm like, oh, Nick has my number. He's like, well, Nick's not here right now, but you give him your number. And I'm like, okay. So I go over to his buddy, and he's like, bro, we love your stuff. This is like so awesome to meet you. And I'm like, this is freaking wild. There's no way. And so I give him my number, and he's like, wait here, because I told Hayden, I'm like, look, I have a message for you from Nick Gillard. And
Yeah.
because when I was in LA with Nick, I was like, yo, I'm gonna see the boys in a few months at Megacon. Do you have like a message for them? And then I recorded him. We were having lunch at Mel's Diner in LA, and he had a message for Ewan. And so they did their photo op for a couple more, and
Mhm.
Hayden's buddy said, just wait here. So I waited behind the curtain, and then they come out, and then bro, I was just cheesing the whole time, and I was just like, this is not real. And Hayden's like, he's like, all right, let's see the video. And I pull out my phone, and freaking and then Ewan's like hovering over my shoulder looking at my phone, and
Yeah.
then Hayden's looking at it, and it's this video from Nick. And then Ewan grabs my phone, and he's just like grinning and laughing. He's like, oh yeah, I have to give him my number or something like that. I don't know. So and then he walks away because he has a different photo op. And then what was it? I left, and I think Hayden had a few more photos or something to do. I leave. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, freaking, this is insane. So I leave, and then his buddy calls me back, like as I'm walking away. He's like, hey. I'm like, yeah. He's like, come back. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, Hayden wants to talk to you. I'm like, no, what? So I go back. Hayden finishes, and then we go outside, and we're just talking for like, felt like 10 minutes, but I don't know, yeah, 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was nice conversation. It was surreal. I was trying to just kind of like everything was happening so fast because
Yeah.
but for me, it was just like how is this happening? And
Yeah.
while trying to carry a conversation and just be bros at the same time, but yeah. Anyways, he's like, hey, when I'm in Vancouver, like I'll reach out and we'll grab a drink or something, and I'm like that'd be awesome, and yeah, that was the end of it.
That is, man, when you posted that reel, I, like, felt like I met Hayden because it was just so crazy, like, that you had that experience. I don't know what I would have done in your situation, man. I would have had a heart attack.
Bro, yeah, I mean, like I still don't. It was so slow yet so fast. Like I just,
Yep.
and I'm like, I like went over the scenario in my head. I'm like, bro, like why didn't you just be a little more chill or whatever, or maybe just say some more stuff. Like, I feel like I was kind of just starstruck because it was just.
Yeah.
Bro, I've been making videos about this guy for like how many years? Like almost 8 years at that point. And here he is, like in front of me, and I had heard from him through Nick, and now I'm like, this is unexpected, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
Yeah.
And
S
it was really cool, but just to see him like as a person, like as a dude, and it was interesting to be able to completely differentiate him, who he is as a person and an actor, and Anakin Skywalker, the character, but to also know that he is him and portrayed him.
Yeah.
My brain was like kind of melting at that point, but it was just cool to be able to talk to him and kind of like hang out for those 10 minutes
Yeah.
and just talk about Star Wars, talk about the Vader fan film, talk about uh, Nick a little bit, and just like shoot the shit essentially.
Yeah.